Sweet the whispers in your ear whenever Ember wanders near.
So I'm a day late on this, but I want to see what happened here, because this is about the Fable game. They are de-uglifying the main character from the Fable game. So a game developer finally realized after fucking years, maybe we should actually cater to our paying customers versus the screeching SJRs who don't give us money. Rev will probably go over it, but if he doesn't, I will explain. But let's take a look at this. I'm very curious to see the changes.
Hey, what's up guys, Rev here. So it appears we have some very interesting developments going on in the gaming scene. It appears that Xbox wants to start making money again, and they're making some big changes to Fable. Now, for 3 years, we have seen this image used as the poster child for Fable, which is a reboot of the classic RPG. This image has been memed into oblivion, and the modern audience has been trying to gaslight you into believing.
The modern audience who does not buy games, by the way. That's something I will always make sure people are aware of. The modern audience that games and Hollywood caters to are not paying customers, especially in the gaming universe. In the gaming world, this mythical modern audience that doesn't exist are not paying customers. They don't buy the games.
This is stunning and brave. If you don't like the design, you're a chud, you're toxic, you're sexist, whatever. But after those 3 years, just a few days ago, we might have a major update on the design featured right here, which I think we can all agree is a massive upgrade. Not only is it more feminine, it's just overall more appealing. Now, do I think Fable is saved? I don't think so, but I do think this is a victory and something that could lead to more promising developments, not only with this game, but with the gaming industry.
I mean, doing a character redesign is a good first step. Changing this into this is a good first step. Now the question is, what does the writing look like? What does the story look like? That is also an important question. Yes, these are the same character. This character has been basically given a glow up into this character. And she looks beautiful. She looks fantastic.
As a whole. Now, seeing a situation where developers potentially listen to feedback and what gamers actually want, the modern audience and the activists are crashing out.
Good.
Not only trying to gaslight you into believing the original design was better, but also saying that this is the product of toxic masculinity and that they hate this new change, and yada yada.
Okay, hang on. Comment section just improves the narrative that toxic masculinity rules female character creation. Hey, Lunchbox. What do you think the percentage of gamers throughout the world are men? 70%? 80%? Higher? The vast majority of gamers are men. Men don't want to look at ugly bitches. This is a pretty simple metric. If men wanted to look at ugly bitches, I would not have my model. My model would look very different if men liked looking at ugly bitches. Okay? That's all. It's very simple. Men like pretty things. Men are simple creatures. They like pretty things. You give them pretty thing, man happy. It's not that fucking hard. The fact that it's taken this long for game developers to figure this the fuck out, well, that kind of tells you just how stupid that they are.
Yada. But a little recap of Fable's journey here. Back 3 years ago, we got the official trailer, and as you can see, it was not well received, getting 22,000 likes versus 42,000 dislikes, which unfortunately is kind of the expectation these days with disappointing slop AAA titles. But of course, the journalists were doing everything in their power to defend the design of this character,
Yep.
which was front and center. I mean, this is their thumbnail. This was what they chose to proudly showcase this game, but the journalists were
God, that
basically
face.
blaming all the toxic gamers for spam.
What's so funny is these journalists that are basically like reading about toxic gamers and toxic men and and that, you know, this is for modern audiences. They choose the ugliest fucking poses, the ugliest fucking image out of the trailer to use as their visual for their article. This image is the image that the majority of games journalists have been using anytime they've talked about Fable. An ugly ass woman that looked like she fell out of the ugly tree and hit every branch on the way down with fucking snaggly teeth doing this look at the camera. This is the image that they use for all of their articles. Why, if they're wanting to say that this game should be good, why not choose a different frame that doesn't look as bad as this one? But they haven't. They've chosen this one every single time.
The video with dislikes. It's funny how it's always brigading and harassment campaigns when there's something negative being received on these trailers, but it's never viewed in the opposite way when there's overwhelming support.
I know, she's
but
got no titties.
anyways, Reddit was doing its best. Like, not even Reddit could admit that this design was good. They had to basically coast off the fact it's supposed to be ugly, which is just insane levels of cope. But overall, I mean, these are the replies on the trailer. The top one saying, surely there's character customization, which we'll talk about in just a second. And also you can see coming in 2025, well, that didn't age well.
Yeah.
You know?
Although, you got to appreciate the second comment, I better be able to kick the chickens. I mean, Trump Dammer right there. Can I kick the chickens?
No, it did not. In fact, it was delayed.
Wait, this right here. It's still not great, okay? Bear in mind, this character model design is still ugly, okay? This is a better screenshot than that other one we saw. So why aren't they using this screenshot for all of their articles when they're talking about Fable? Why are they always picking the one of her looking sideways going, instead of this one? It's not much better, but it is better.
Initially to 2026, where the team was saying in order to make the best game possible, we're going to take a little more time. Well, they took a little more time and released another trailer, this time with a release date. And as you can see, the character designs did not improve, and also the dislike ratio is still pretty bad, with 12,000 likes versus 4,800 dislikes, which also shows some apathy. This trailer has nowhere near the traction of the original one, but you can see a new release date. Yes, it got delayed for a second time, this time being delayed into 2027, where, of course, the developers say so they can have the dedicated moment this game deserves. AKA, they want to work around the release of GTA 6. Let's be honest with
that. I don't disagree with that. Which, honestly, you know what? Controversial, matey. I don't fault them for saying, you know what, we're going to delay the game so we're not releasing the same time as GTA. That, honestly, not a terrible idea. If they tried to release this around the same time as GTA 6, it would flop. So, I legitimately will not fault them for doing that. I think that was actually a smart move. Yeah. No, they do. No, people do need to... It's not... companies do need to think of GTA 6. GTA 6 is one of the most anticipated video games in video game history. It is. There is no getting around that. Literally every gamer in the world is anticipating GTA 6. Even if it flops, they're still eagerly anticipating it. People have already pre-ordered it to hell and back, and everybody is looking forward to it. It is a juggernaut of a video game release. It is legitimately very smart for them to push back the release of Fable several months after GTA 6 has released. So the immediate, 4th of July level of hype has died down. People have had several months to play the game, and now they may be looking for another game to go into. It is honestly very smart. Because no matter what you personally think about GTA 6, it is the biggest gaming event. This is going to be the biggest release in video gaming history to date. It is. Now, I also think that they might also be delaying because if they are making a change to the character model of the lead character, they may need time to implement that into the game code, and so they may need time to retool their game with the improved character models. That could also be contributory to the delayed release. I think it's probably a combination of both.
Themselves, ladies and gentlemen, that's exactly what they're doing, and so many other games will be moving around their release date to avoid GTA 6. But of course, we got the update. That is the focus of this video, with some previews with Gamescom coming up, and people are quick to notice some potential changes, showing this same character that's been promoted one way for 3 years suddenly changed. And again, this stuff is always subjective, but I think most gamers would agree
this was
an upgrade.
Very
and
much
honestly,
an improvement.
It reminds me of the Sonic situation, where the initial previews of the movie had this design on the left, and people absolutely hated it. And in a rare moment of reflection in the entertainment industry, the director said, you know what? I hear you guys. Let's make some changes. And they delayed the movie so they can make a better, more appealing model. And guess what? The results were earned. Okay? A long series of very successful movies. And I believe this is what kickstarted all of it.
Sonic is like the perfect example of how listening to your fans, i.e. your paying customers, and making a change for your paying customers that all of them are saying we want, look what happens. You cater to the paying customers, they will give you money, you as a company will be successful. It's staggering how many companies still have not figured out this absolute basic economic factor.
Very successful movies, and I believe this is what kickstarted all of it. Now, of course, we have to address one of the points here that people are trying to snarkily raise in response to people pointing out the difference, saying you make your own character in the game, you stupid F. This tweet getting almost 8,000 likes. Now, of course, this doesn't really make it any better. What this tells me is that for 3 years, despite apparently having the ability to make whatever they want, they chose this.
If that's true, I have no idea if you have character customization in Fable. No clue. I haven't played the Fable games. If that's true, that this on the right is a result of character customization, we're about to say, why have you been promoting the ugliest character for the last several years? It makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. You did in the old games? Yeah, so again, this person may be going off the concept of the old games. Who knows if the new Fable game is going to have that customer characterization? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. And hi, Maria. Hi, Raiders. Sorry I didn't say hi while I wait. I was in the middle of a rant. You know what happens when I rant. I cannot shut up. Welcome in. How was your stream? Did you have a good time? We are looking at an update to the Fable game where apparently they have decided to replace the ugly bitch character with an attractive lady character. So, and now supposedly you can do character creation. Supposedly, I don't know if that even has that in this. Who fucking knows? But that's it.
As their promotional piece. Okay, that shows a massive disconnect between what the developers thought gamers want versus what gamers actually want. So
Okay. I'm going to actually slightly disagree. I don't think it was what developers wanted in terms of like pushing this character model front and center. I don't think it was what the developers wanted. I'm gonna kind of do a gimme here. Maybe it was the developers. For all I know, it was. But I'm gonna try and offer a gimme here. Maybe it wasn't developers. Maybe it was the boss and the bosses and the PR people who wanted to push this over this. Because the developers are not the ones that do the advertising. They're not the ones that put out the press releases. They're not the ones that choose the gameplay footage or screenshots. That would be upper management and PR, not the devs. So that's kind of where I'm going to do a possible little gimme against what Rev is saying on that one. Yes, a lot of devs are super woke. I agree. A lot of the devs are super woke, but the devs aren't usually the ones that make the decisions when it comes to advertising.
I don't really think this is the own they think it is, but of course you can see how these normal people respond when people say that they want to have attractive characters, and they reply by saying, if the selling point of a game for you is so you can play a hot woman, you might just be transgender or something, bro.
That's bait. 100%. That is simply bait. They're deliberately trying to trigger people to get the it is entirely bait. Like, it is well known that every male gamer, if you're going to be playing a female character, do you want to play a hot female character? That's facts. Men want, if you are playing a game where the lead is a female character and you are a male gamer, you want to see a hot woman. You don't want to see an ugly chunkla. You want to see a fucking smoke show on your screen, because that's what you're going to be looking at for the next 30 to 60 to 80 hours. Why would you want to look at some ugly cow for 30, 60, or 80 hours when you could see a smoke show instead? This is obvious. It doesn't mean you're transgender. No, you stupid fucktard. It means you're a guy. Guys like looking at attractive women. That's bait. This is looking for engagement. That's it. This is Mr. Doomer Media is someone that doesn't have a life. They are a loser living in mama's basement with Cheeto dust all over their shirt. Doom scrolling on Twitter all day. Why do you think they're called Doomer Media? And they're looking for attention. This is literally attention whore behavior. That's it. And based on the fact that there's only 6 comments to this, he's not getting the attention he wants.
These people are not well. I mean, they're so obsessed with identity politics that they literally can't fathom why so.
It's not. I'm disagreeing with Rev on this. It's not about identity politics. Not in this case. In this specific case, this is just rage bait. That's it. Like, Rev, when you hear hoofbeats, think horses, not zebras. This is not pushing identity politics or anything like that. It's just pure and simple trolling rage bait. That's it. And Samson, thank you for the raid. Rock kick, welcome in.
Someone would want to play an appealing female character in a video game. And of course, this is the main post that would go viral, saying Fable has shared a new gameplay teaser clip ahead of Gamescom. Apparently, they have changed the face of the female character from the first trailers, making her more appealing. Looks like Asha has listened to the complaints of fans. Now, some people pointing out, saying now they just need every other messed up NPC they made in this game to be fixed as well, but this is a fresh new face.
That's exactly what I said. It is a step in the correct direction, but it's not the only step they need to make. Yeah, Asha, no kidding, Asha didn't do shit. people are going to try and make it seem like Asha came down from her castle on high and told the devs for Fable, you need to fix this, make the woman pretty. No, she didn't. No, it was some middle management person somewhere in between that said, hey, look, we need to fix this or something. Yeah. And Samson, thank you for the raid over on Twitch as well. Welcome in, fishies. Welcome in.
They changed it. Yeah, there's a lot more going on with this game. There's a lot of other woke elements. This is not solving all the game's problems, okay? But it is a victory, and it is a battle won. The war continues, but this is definitely a very promising moment. And then you can see people in the quote saying, bully game devs. I mean, look, being aggressive with your complaints clearly works.
Well, this is the way of the world now. When it comes to game development, yeah. You have to be vocal, and you have to be vocal in great numbers, or they won't listen to you. The game devs need to be told in no uncertain terms, if you don't fix this shit, we're not going to buy your game, and your studio is going to go under. We've been seeing it over and over and over again. Latest Halo game, perfect example. How many people got laid off at the studio with the latest Halo game? Flopped abysmally. Gamers need to be vocal and correct. They need to vote with their wallets. But give them the shot across the bow saying, we don't like this. We're telling you right now, we don't like this. If you continue on this path, our wallets will remain shut. Your game will fail. You will all be out of a job. Don't believe me? Ask the 3,600 people at Microsoft that are currently out of a job. I've been telling you guys to always vote with your wallet, to hit them in the bank account. You want these people to listen, you hit them in the bank account. I've been saying this for years. I've been pleading with you guys to do this for years. Guess what? People are actually starting to do that, whether they're listening to me or whether they're just doing it on their own. Chances are they're doing it on their own because I'm just some stupid anime cat girl on the internet. But they're finally doing it, and look what's happening. People are now actually voting with their wallets. The games are failing. The studios are shutting down. The devs are getting fired. And the overarching businesses that these studios are under the umbrella of are starting to look at the developers and go, fix this. Give them what they want. If you give them what they want, we make money, and we like making money. Voting with your wallet works. It's taken a while for people to get around to realizing this again. I don't know how many times I have to teach you this lesson, old man. But you can see, you can tangibly see it's working. You vote with your wallet, things will change.
It might be very hard. It might take a lot of noise, but it does work, okay? We've seen it happen on the opposite side a lot, where these developers listen to woke outrage. So how about anti-woke outrage going the other way and producing results? Endymion here saying, it's good to see companies start to realize nobody wants to see this modernity nonsense slop anymore. Fable will be better off going in this direction. Here's Mark Tyminski, the CEO of Lords of the Fallen, saying, seems like a much better direction.
Yes, indeed.
And of course, this guy has been front and center on this whole debate about giving gamers what they actually want by posting polls on social media and asking simple questions like, do you want more appealing designs? And of course, the overwhelming response is yes. And they are reflecting that in Lords of the Fallen 2, and that's working out really well for them among gamers, not so well among games journalists who are seething about this fact. But anyways, here's
Good. Games journalists can keep coping and seething. Let them cope and seethe while the successful studios that cater to their paying customers laugh all the way to the bank. Let them seethe. I need more SJR tears for my stew.
The quote saying, how funny would this be if the game did a complete 180 and actually turned out to be good? That'd be great. You know, Like,
That'll be wonderful.
nobody wants all these games to just fail. We want good games, right? We want more appealing character design.
And that is the ever-loving point. When people complain about shit like this, they're actually not rooting for it to fail. Like, not pre-release. When it's still in development and developers give updates and they show shit like this, and gamers go, what the actual fuck is this? This is disgusting. We don't like this. Gamers at that point are not rooting for the game to fail. Gamers are saying, we are telling you what changes we want to see to this game, so you can make those changes, so you can put out a game that we will like and that we will buy. The only point at which they are cheering for it to fail is when the devs ignore their paying customers and ignore what they have to say and go, oh, we know better than you. This game is for a modern audience. It's not for you. Go suck it, chuds. That is when the gamers are rooting for them to fail. When gamers are in a pre-development or development stage and gamers are saying, we want to see this change. We don't like this. We would like to see this change. That's because they want the game to be good. Fable is a very beloved franchise by many people. So they don't want their beloved franchise to be tarnished by the uglification of the main character. They want it to be good and to have the main character be attractive. So they're wanting success because the game hasn't released yet. If the developers ignored these people and said, fuck you, we're releasing it as is, then it would be cool. I hope you fucking fail. I hope your studio shuts down, and I hope you all get fired. You wanted to ignore us? Reap the whirlwind. But that's not the situation we're in right now. It's kind of like, no, I'm not even gonna go that route. No, I'm keeping this on games. I was about to say something that we're going way off into like geopolitical bullshit, and I'm not going there. I'm just gonna stay where I am.
That are more likely to be a part of something that is overall successful. So if this game can turn things around, and this is the first noticeable step, awesome. That'd be great news. Here's another quote saying, pretty sure this means the vast majority of gamers who've been upset about this in every single game are completely and utterly correct, and everyone knows it. Hope this helps. Gamers were winning. Keep it up. Don't stop. Keep the pressure on. Now, of course, not everyone is happy about this. The modern audience is up in arms saying, this comment section just... This guy really should have, like, calmed down a bit and then tried to write this...
Well, this is the comment from the beginning, rather than just going back to the original comment.
Response once their cortisol
none of these people
is no
buy
longer
games.
spiking because there's so many spelling and grammatical errors. But I will help them out by saying what they wanted to say properly. This comment section just proves the narrative that toxic masculinity rules female character creation. Why does every character have to look like a runway model? Natural-looking women don't look like that.
By the way, okay, hang on. We are at 9:52. Okay, hang on. As a reminder, this person is saying that women don't look like this. No, it's not that it's fictional. Literally, lots of women look like this. Squares of women look like this. Yes, she looks like a normal, attractive woman. She's not supermodel-esque. She's not like Hollywood starlet, beauty quality. She looks like a normal, pretty, even beautiful woman. So why is this retard saying, why do they have to look like a runway model? Number one, when have you ever seen a runway model? By the way, this is just another buzzword for this person. This person actually doesn't have a sweet clue what a runway model looks like. My guess is Lunchbox is an ugly piece of shit. and hates the fact that when they presented a character model of an attractive woman, gamers were like, fuck yes, thank you. And poor Lunchbox is like, oh, now I won't have someone representing me in a game that I won't even buy and because I'm an ugly piece of shit. Like, it's all bullshit. It's all virtue signaling. And honestly, I do have to wonder if this is a bot. I do have to wonder, based on this and talking about why does every character have to look like a runway model when this female character model doesn't look like a runway model in any way, shape, or form. I do have to wonder if this is a bot. I'm getting that feeling it might be.
Like that, and it's BS that these idiots are the ones forcing these decisions. Wow. Women out there, all 10% of you in my audience, according to the analytics, are you accepting what this person's saying, that it is impossible for a woman to naturally look like this? This is an unachievable level of beauty. I mean, this guy's world is pretty disappointing if that's the reality they're living in. But you can see,
well, because this person, if they're real and not a bot, are probably an ugly basement dwelling troll. And anytime they see an attractive character in a video game, they get triggered.
They're blaming toxic masculinity. They're throwing in buzzwords and also saying it's these idiots, it's these chuds that are controlling these decisions. Have you seen the gaming industry the last decade or so? Do you think it's the gamers who have been controlling things and not these activists who need to be completely and utterly crushed to avoid situations like this in the first place?
Yep.
But here's another comment saying, I'm not expecting the people obsessing over this to suddenly realize how dysfunctional it is to not be able to enjoy the enormous breadth of experience that all of life has to offer, and are only able to enjoy games that can only give them a half chub, but it's still funny.
This is bait. This is 100% bait. It's not even, the funny part is it's not even good bait. And you can tell because, like, there's 73 comments, so people are obviously dumping on him, and only 17 likes. My guess is the one bookmark is from Rev. Goodness is 100% bait.
I think this is a bit of projection. Again, people want appealing designs because it makes the game more enjoyable. It makes it more aesthetically pleasing. Like, I don't understand how they believe that everyone has to, like, get off while playing a video game in order to enjoy it. No, people want to see appealing character designs. What happened with Sonic? Okay?
Yeah. To that end, I was just thinking about this. Rev breaks it up, so I'm going to capitalize on it. Do these same people criticize when beautiful women are cast as leading roles in films? Do these same people criticize when attractive men get cast in films? Nah. They don't say a fucking word. If they're white, yes. No, even if they're white, they don't. No. Even if they're white, they don't. That maybe controversial, but no, they don't. None of these people that bitch about game character designs, where people like, we want attractive game character designs, and the virtue signaling retards are like, no, we want ugly people. We want quote unquote realistic people for the modern audience. You never hear them say that about movie stars. You never hear them say that when attractive women are cast into a movie. That's why we got Helen of Detroit. Okay, counterpoint. Yes, they race swapped Helen of Troy. That's a whole different conversation. But was she unattractive? What was the black actress for Helen of Troy unattractive? No. No, she wasn't. Realistically, no. She wasn't. They maybe they frizzed up her hair or stuff and it didn't look great. But no, she was not ugly. Like, this kind of comparison. Okay? This kind of comparison. I know was she drop dead gorgeous? No. Was she pretty? I'd say yes. I'd say the actress who played Helen of Troy in the Odyssey was pretty. Not beautiful, not gorgeous, not a smoke show, but she was at least pretty. Okay? Helen of Troy would have been smoke show. Okay? If they properly cast if they properly cast Helen of Troy, she would have been a smoke show. Instead, we got she's pretty. Okay? But notice all of the other like big blockbuster movies when they cast beautiful people in all the roles. They don't have a problem with them being pretty. They don't take issue with that. They don't go screeching, why did you cast someone ugly so she looks like me for reals? They don't say that. They only say that with the video game industry. Wonder why that could be. Is it because the video game industry stupidly will listen to them? Whereas Hollywood actually kinda sorta still cares about making money? You notice there's the difference in that. Hollywood, granted, I'm not praising them because Hollywood has been done some. Hollywood is just fucking a horror show these days as is. But Hollywood will still hire attractive people because even if their movies suck, they still have attractive faces to bring people into the theaters because people like looking at pretty things. Game devs are the only ones that when people go, we want ugly characters, even though we're not going to pay for the game, the game devs stupidly listen to that. Results? Look at the results. Even though Hollywood's making shit movies, they're casting attractive people. Look what's happened. Hollywood's still open for business. Game dev studios are dropping like flies. Therein lies the difference. Is game studios, not only are they making shit games, but they're also doing ugly people into them. So no one's buying their games. The studios go under, people get fired, studios shut down. Hollywood makes shit Hollywood movies, but they're casting attractive people, so they're still getting at least enough butts in seats to make them viable. And the studios themselves are not shutting down. Therein lies the difference. Hollywood, for all of its tremendous amount of flaws, still understands the very basic principle of people like pretty things and sex sells. Now, finally, maybe game devs and game studios are starting to realize, yeah, this actually does work. Even if the game isn't fantastic, we might actually still be able to do decently well if we make our character models look attractive.
When they did those improvements, was that under this sort of logic? I'd hope not. But the thing is, they did that and it worked for them. And it'll work for all of these studios if they want to give it a chance. If they want to give more appealing designs instead of this modern audience slop, it will work out in their favor if they depart from what's been the status quo. And you can see even journalists like Paul Tassi have to admit to what's going on here, saying,
Yeah.
Yes, I know this is currently a big anti-woke talking point, but I genuinely do wonder if Fable is changing its featured female lead's look in the final stretch ahead of launch here. The other one was essentially the face of the game for several years until this summer. Notable. Yet, see how they have to like walk on eggshells. Like, we get it, Paul.
Because
you
he
like
wants to
the
keep
new
his
one.
access. It's so funny. Paul Tassi, because he's a gay, I believe Paul Tassi is a game journal. He's walking on eggshells because he wants to keep his access because he thinks his job actually has meaning still. That's like everything these game journalists do is in service to themselves, and that's it. They all do everything they do is in service to having access to the game studios. They're terrified that if they are honest in their reporting, that the game studios will take away their access and they won't be able to get interviews with the devs or the studio heads or whatever. So it's every single piece of literature that game journalists put out there is all in service to their own careers, not to actually being honest about what they're reporting.
Better. Just say it. He can't say it because he is captured by the sort of audience that these journalists have attracted over the years who can't even
That's
make
not audience. They don't have an
very
audience.
plain observations
There is no audience.
without facing hostility from your own sycophants. But let's continue on here. You can see Paul even acknowledging when facing a reply saying the character in Fable is fully customizable, so there are no issues for anyone. And he says, I know, but they chose just a small handful to feature, and the first one was the main one for a long time. Yes, what was the problem with that one being the main one for a while? Paul, you know why. It's because it wasn't appealing. It didn't look good. But they can't say that again, but you can see the modern audience crashing out here saying, gamers, she needs to be more attractive. Meanwhile, they literally look like the Hunchback of Notre Dame in real life.
But their money is just as good as yours. Why does it matter what gamers look like in real life? The gamer in question could look like a fucking Adonis or could look like Quasimodo. Does that change the value of their money? Nope. And that is all that matters. You want to criticize a gamer's looks? Fine. It's their money that keeps the studios afloat. That's the only thing that's the only looks that matters. What is the color of their money?
Ah, yes. This sort of logic of just saying everyone who is a gamer and wants good games and appealing designs is a ugly loser. That's worked out really well. It's generated.
And I know, I'm pausing a shit ton. I don't care. Funny enough, people like this are the ones that are going to tank the game. The dads put out, they put out a new trailer that show an attractive main character. Gamers say, we like this. This encourages us to buy the game. The SJR/modern audience say, oh, you guys are ugly hunchbacks. Oh, she needs to be more attractive when you're an ugly piece of shit. These people that claim to want the game to succeed are the ones that would actually cause it to fail by insulting the game's customer base. Define irony.
A lot of goodwill, and also when I see this sort of reaction, nothing but insecurity on this individual's behalf. But here's another quote saying, why this even needs to be a talking point for anyone is beyond me. You're right. The fact that this is a talking point is beyond me as well. The fact that we're at this point is ridiculous.
It needs to be a talking point because by making a talking point, you're informing game studios and game developers of what you as the paying customer wants. That's why it needs to be a talking point. If it was not a talking point, then game devs would just listen to their DEI associates like Sweet Baby Inc. and just uglify the shit out of the characters, have completely woke plot lines and storylines, continue to make dog shit games that no one buys. Because it's a talking point, now gamers are actually using their voice and their wallets to inform studios, this is what we are willing to spend our money on in order for your business to continue to exist. That's why it needs to be a talking point.
That we have to tell these studios so loudly that they should make appealing character designs is ridiculous. It's ridiculous that we're at this point where it takes 3 years of criticism for a small change that could save their game to actually take place. Yeah. That is beyond me as well. But anyways, guys, that is the big update with Fable here, a much bigger conversation that is also stemming from it. But anyways, that's going to do for this video. If you enjoyed, please consider giving the video a like, consider subscribing and turning on notifications for daily uploads, as well as multiple streams every week live here on YouTube. But overall, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you next time.
Good to see. You know what? I'm glad that we are seeing the people behind Fable actually listening to criticism. If there is a character creator that you can create your own, and that just has not been disclosed, and they finally realized maybe we should put our attractive foot forward, good. It means they're learning. Good devs. Now maybe we'll actually spend money on you.
Ember burns bright, bright.